Hey guys, welcome back. In a previous vlog, I mentioned that I was going to invest in a game table for my family instead of taking a family vacation because we like to spend time together during the holidays. And so I went forward and I got ourselves a game table. So I'll take you through the demo of the table and the chairs and then what I paid for it and what are my thoughts about it. So let's get into it. Now, as you can see, we decided to go with a Hexagon table. My wife and I debated this a little bit. My daughter wanted the rectangle table because it had like this hobby cubby or something like that. But you know, when we played cards upstairs on our dining room table, which is a rectangle, it was always a pain for people on the ends to play cards in the middle of the table because it's so long. And so the advantage to the Hex table is it's kind of like a classic poker game table, and everyone can typically reach the center of the table no matter where they sit. Except for my 7-year-old son. He's a little small still, but he'll grow into this and he'll be able to reach the center of this table. Now, as far as the color goes, we went with like kind of a darker wood, mahogany kind of look because my wife wanted it to match those bar stools, and then we've got over here like a hutch back there that's kind of got that same mahogany look. And then we went with some felt kind of soft cushion chairs. Now these cushions, you can Velcro them on and off, and they're comfortable though. They're not a hard dining room chair. My wife didn't want to come down after a long day or even on the weekends and be sitting on hard chairs. So she wanted something that would match kind of the rugs here. We have some blues and some creams in these rugs, and and it contrasts the floor pretty well. Now she was kind of concerned because it is kind of it makes the room a little bit darker, but I think she's warmed up to it by now, so I'm happy about that. As far as the table's concerned, a lot of game tables, they have these accessories. That's the biggest thing with the game tables, and most game tables that are pretty expensive, they have these magnetic accessories like this tray here. It's got like parts for cards and snacks, and then this tray has a cup holder, for your beer or your water jug. But these are not magnetic, and I'll explain to you why they're not magnetic in a second. So each section of the Hex table has those same two accessories. They're optional, if you don't want to use them, you just kind of set them to the side and whatnot. And then I'll show you the table. Let me attach this to the tripod again. Now the table's got like a table topper on it, which is really nice. So you can either play cards on the table, or you can take the topper off, one section at a time. I'm just going to set it over here. Now, it takes a little bit of effort, to go in and change the table out if you want to play in the vault. Now, I'm going to look for, or I'm going to make a table topper holder. But there are companies out there that do make these, so I'll probably look around for that. Don't want to scratch anything. And then it came with an embedded mat, but even still, you could even play without the mat on a nice smooth surface here. It's pretty decent quality. Now, as far as the make and the manufacturer of the table, I did not go with the BMW of game tables, and I'll explain to you why I decided not to do that. I originally had a shopping cart with a total of $8,700 for an American company. It's called Wormwood, and they have really elegant tables, probably really nice wood. I think I had like a kind of a mahogany wood type of table I had in my cart. But my wife was like, $8,700, Dan. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's a lot of money. It really is. And my wife goes, we could use that for our bathroom remodel. And I kind of said, yeah, you're right. So we shopped around a bit more, and I found a couple tables online from a couple different companies, Walmart, Wayfair, and they were, you know, kind of just more the cheaper Chinese-made type of tables. And I said, you know, we're probably only going to use this, you know, maybe once on the weekends, or like on our Christmas vacation, we'll probably be down here playing games. And I said, you know what, I think that's all I'm going to spend is a Walmart style table. And so this table was $559, and then with taxes, it was probably around $600. Not too bad, but it is really sturdy. It was fairly heavy. It took me, I had to bring a dolly in the house to get this table down here. It took me about 3 hours to put this thing together, but it was fun. We all kind of hung out down here. Now, as far as the wood, it's not like solid pieces. There's like little, I don't know, little seams or joints here. No, you can't feel them, but you can see them. But overall, you know, it looks good. It's really smooth. There was only maybe 1 or 2 flaws on one of the tops. It's very minor. I could barely see it. And then a couple of these trays, there was like 1 or 2 trays that had like tiny chips on them. I could probably try to contact the manufacturer, but you know, odds are I probably won't get anywhere. It's from China. You know, you're not going to get very far with that. But overall, I'm really satisfied with the table. I might go online and buy a different mat. This mat's not bad, but I don't like the color. I'd like maybe kind of maybe a traditional green for poker, or maybe a bluish green or something like that. That would kind of just give a little more contrast. It's just kind of like brown on brown. You know, you want to kind of give a starking look for your game table. So that's the table. Again, I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't go overboard. I didn't go over $1,000 on the table. Now the chairs, these were from Wayfair. It's hard to find cloth chairs that are high quality. We didn't feel like traveling to a furniture store. And we didn't want to spend that much. So they had them in like buckets of 2, or quantity of 2. It was like $220 for a set of 2. And so we had to get 6 chairs, and that totaled what, $800 ballpark. So in total, I think I spent around $1,400, which in my vlog, my previous vlog, I mentioned, I think my budget was like $3,500. So I went way under budget, and I'm really happy about that. You know, it's like, again, how much am I going to use this table? Hopefully a lot. I hope it is. But you know, overall, it's a table. You throw the dice down here, you're going to chip it here and there. You might spill your beer on it, whatever it is, you know. So yeah, I'm excited to play that Foundations of Rome over there, get that in here. It's got like a play mat. I'll go ahead and roll it out for you guys, just so you see an idea of what it'll look like. So this Foundations of Rome game, which a lot of games are big like this. This one I bought like an extra play mat for, and fortunately it fits. And then you take all the little pieces and you put it on this game board here, and you got a bunch of cards up there and points and things like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And then the chairs, I'll mention the chairs too. They're like little Velcro sticky cushions or whatever. And the bottoms Velcro on this other part. I'm trying to get it off. And each chair has a nice storage compartment, which I think is pretty nice for if we, you know, get more and more games each Christmas. Maybe we'll get a game for the family. And yeah, I think that'll be pretty nice. Yeah, plus I could store other things in there. Who knows what I'll end up storing. So, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I saved some money. I didn't go overboard. Again, inflation is here to stay. I don't want to be too reckless with my money. I don't want to be sloppy. I didn't want to take out any sort of debt for this table either. If I would have paid $10,000, I might have financed it, even though I have the money. But you know, regardless, things are expensive these days, and you gotta be cautious with your money. And I think that I did a pretty good job to have some good experiences. And by the way, my son, we did play on it one night. the night we built it last weekend. And my son was so thrilled. He loved it. He loved just playing on it. And then the next night he was like, Dad, can we play again on the game table? And I said, no, because we were busy. We had stuff going on. We had to get ready for school. But during the vacation, I think we'll spend some time down here and just enjoy ourselves. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about the table. I will put the links for the table and the chairs in the comments or in the description below, just so that you guys have the links if you're interested in a game table like this. I thought it was pretty decent quality for the price I paid. You get what you pay for, you know. But yeah, anyways, if you guys could, let me know in the comments below what you think of the table, what you think of the investment. And you guys have a great day, and like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Take a look at my previous video and have a good one, guys. Later.